Hi, good morning and welcome to Westernacher's webinar on SAP Digital Manufacturing. Bear with me, I just need to... Excellent. So thank you very much for attending. So today we're going to talk about smart manufacturing with digital manufacturing. We'll have presenters from both Westernacher and SAP. So it's myself, Tom Hodges. We also have Eduardo from SAP, and then Florin, who is a manufacturing specialist from Westernacher. And then just a brief piece on Westernacher. So for anybody that doesn't know Westernacher, I'll just keep this brief just to give a bit of context. So we are a digital supply chain specialist consultancy specializing on SAP technology. We've been around for a long time, so since 1969, and we've been an SAP partner for over 30 years. We support the full scope of end-to-end supply chain through SAP solutions. So today we're talking about manufacturing, but we also support things such as warehousing, transportation, yard logistics, and planning with IBP. We also have a Diamond Award that we've won for 2 years running with SAP for our specialist in supply chain solutions. So that's just a very quick overview of Westernacher. Back to what we're talking about today is manufacturing, and I've got just a couple of the kind of challenges that a lot of our clients are facing at the moment. So, and these are the challenges that we look to resolve with SAP DM. So a lot of our clients are finding that they've got siloed data. So often the data is available in an ERP environment, but maybe not available live on the machines, and that integration and capability isn't there. The live performance data on the shop floor isn't available. And then one of the biggest returns of investment we find when implementing a digital manufacturing solution is being able to be more efficient with your scheduling, prevent downtimes, bottlenecks, and being more efficient with the assets as well, and ensuring that they're not underused. Some people from that are joining this might also come from might also have regulatory requirements as well. So traceability, batches, and those types of processes are further enhanced and more efficient with a digital manufacturing solution. And then also what we find is still quite common is paper-based processes. So obviously there's a lot of delays, errors, and waste if you're still running on paper-based processes. So these are some of the sort of challenges that we're going to talk about today, talk about the benefits, and talk about how digital manufacturing with SAP can resolve those. So that's just a very, very quick intro as to what we're talking about today. I believe I'm passing over to Eduardo from SAP to give us an initial overview of supply chain. So if you're ready, Eduardo, I will just pass you over the presenter.
Okay, so, well, thank you, Tom, and thank you everyone for joining this session and dedicating some time of your busy agenda to us. So my name is Eduardo Fernández. I'm part of the domain advisory team for supply chain management at EMEA in SAP. And yeah, I wanted to just give a brief introduction on what's the strategy around supply chain management, and then drill down into digital manufacturing. So starting maybe with what we believe is the journey that most of our customers are making when we talk about supply chain orchestration and the evolution of their supply chains, right? So in the past, most of the companies, and they are still working on the initial stages of digitalizing their operations, working on improving efficiency, productivity, and of course, as Tom was suggesting, also the compliance part, and in general terms, having more visibility on their operations and to be able to manage their KPIs, right? There are many companies that are still in this stage at different levels, and perhaps removing even paper from their operations. And then the next step will be to be more adaptive, right? This is where you can start applying AI, you can start applying automation and contextualizing the decision with the aid of technology. be able to manage risk and disruption in a more efficient way, right? So it's all about resiliency. And the future view, I mean, this is more like a vision of what we are working on, is to get to have an autonomous supply chain where everything is orchestrated by AI, by the different agents that we have, real data and the real-time data-driven decisions, and where the agents and the AI is kind of guiding the operations for you. It's not proper. Of course, there's going to be still human interaction, but we envision that the help that you will get from AI is much bigger than what we are starting to see in the early stages now, right? And for this journey, SAP, what we have is this business suite. As you can see, I mean, we still have the ERP, of course, in the center, but we have a number of solutions around the ERP for every line of business. And supply chain management is a very important part of it, right? And we are building all our technology, as you can see, in a common technology platform, which is the business technology platform, and with a business data cloud, I will explain in a moment, that gives us a holistic data where we can build on top all the AI strategy that we have now. So we are embedding, not adding on top, but embedding AI in every solutions that we are building, especially with Joule, which is our kind of a co-pilot that help us to orchestrate all these artificial intelligence scenarios that we have. If I drill down in supply chain management, we have a number of solutions for every pillar across from design to operate, as we say. So design, planning, procurement, manufacturing, logistics, and assets and services. So we have a quite extensive portfolio for all these different processes around supply chain management. And as I was saying, the key part is that all these, these three layers we have the SAP applications, where we have a integrated view of the operations and integrated data and processes of the operations within within our customers, and also outside the four walls of our customers through the business networks. On top of that, we have the SAP Business Data Cloud. So this is the foundational layer that harmonizes all the data and gives business context to the data that our customers are extracting from the day-to-day operations. And by giving this business context and giving a semantic information to the AI, then we can build our agents for every different function and orchestrate these agents and these use cases with Joule. And I will show in a moment a few examples of these artificial intelligence use cases. Okay. Now, we know that most of customers, what they are doing is they start by planning, defining a plan and then executing against this plan, right? So we have some planning here based on inventory, based on sales orders, based on forecast. Then we have a more detailed production planning, and then we try to execute. And there is some KPIs that our customers are following to see whether we are where we are against this plan. But we know that supply chains are much more complex than this, right? So if we make it a more exhaustive view, what we see is, especially for the operations, for the manufacturing part, we are impacted by many other processes within the organization. Yes, the planning part is very important, but also changes in the PLN, changes on formulation, changes on the design of the product, or introductions of new products will affect our manufacturing operations. Logistics and warehouse is very important to be sure that we have the raw materials, the components in place in the right moment and in the right place. And of course, things like the asset management, especially for process industries, but also in discrete industries, is key to make sure that your operations are running smoothly and at high performance, right? And finally, labor is also key, right? So we will see in a moment, and Florin will explain in more detail how all these parts are taken into account with our solution, digital manufacturing, where we can integrate with the different, in the past, silos of the organization, but are impacting heavily on our manufacturing operations. Okay, and the fact that we have all this integrated view and that we get real-time information of what's happening in the shop floor allows us to build AI use cases around it. So let me just give you a very brief overview of our strategy around AI for digital manufacturing. So basically, we are building, three, let's say, blocks of AI use cases. The first block is the operator and supervisor experience. So basically, here, what we are trying to do is to enhance and give more productivity on the operators and supervisors in the shop floor, so on their day-to-day activities. The second one, the shop floor automation optimization, is more focused on the engineers that usually are managing the operations, changing the setup of the shop floor, or running new processes, and they have to do quick changes to make sure that the operations are not stopped and that they are operating at full speed. The innovate and operate is more about the adoption of the innovation that we bring with technology, right? So making sure that the users are adopting the tools easily, and that they can that is every new functionality, every new solution that we bring to them is easily adapted for them. Okay, so just give me a couple of examples of the two first. So the first one is a very typical one, is visual inspection. So basically now with digital manufacturing, we can follow the full process of visual inspection. So from creating the visual inspection point, then perhaps there's a production operator that is doing first some manual inspections that it's capturing data. Then the production supervisor will review these images, how they are categorized. If he's happy with the information, then this is passed to the AI scientist to generate machine learning models, and then you activate this. Okay, so all these that was very complex in the past, now it can be very simple, done through digital manufacturing, right? So basically, there are a number of screens, a number of steps, and I will show you a video now that we can follow to do this in a simple way, right? So this is how it happens right now. I mean, imagine this is a situation where there is an operator that has to assemble a number of components. This one is a double-seated valve. So basically, he's detecting some non-conformances, and he has to do it manually, right? So he's detecting that there are two screws missing, and he's logging a non-conformancy. So this would be the manual work first, where you do a number of captures of images and tag these images with the problem. And this is how it will work once the model is complete, right? So yes, with a click of a button, the system will suggest to you, to the operator, that there are these two missing screws with a high probability, and the operator will just click a button to log a non-conformancy. And in the middle, I mean, the previous step to this one to make it work is just the capability to, within the system, to check the different manual inspections done in the past. So in this case, it's a different use case. It's a light appliance that may be dented, or maybe a scratch, or maybe there's a problem with the color. So the supervisor can check that there is consistency between the different images captured by the different operators. And if they are happy with this, they will just upload it to the model and make it work. Okay, as simple as that. In less than one morning, you have a machine learning visual inspection model working in your plant. Okay, the other use case is how we can help with for the production engineers with AI. So there are two situations very typical. The first one is where the engineer is setting a new process, and perhaps there is an error, and you get some logs indicating that something is wrong, right? But the logs sometimes are difficult to interpret, and it takes some time to identify what is the actual case, the actual problem, right? So the user, what he can do is to ask Joule, our copilot, to interpret these logs and convert this information into plain English, so that we can actually understand what's going on and solve the issue as soon as possible. Okay, so that's one case. The other case is that when, again, the production engineering is trying to maybe create a new routine or a new process into the shop floor, they may need to generate a script, and instead of having to do that from scratch and which is a time-consuming process, they can ask Joule in English again, and Joule will give them a suggestion for the script that is that has no errors and also facilitates the work for the user. Okay, these are just two use cases, but you can have a look into this website, the Discovery Center for SAP, where you can filter down by supply chain management, and you will see the use cases that are already available in our solutions. There are 42 already and more coming in roadmap. So feel free to have a look, and if you have any question or any doubt about it, just feel free also to reach out. Okay, and just to conclude my part before I move, I pass the floor to Florin. I wanted to bring just a couple of success stories. The first one is SMA Solar Technology. This is a German company in the solar. They are producing solar panels, and basically the challenge that they have is that they had a legacy in-house developed manufacturing execution system that didn't allow them to grow their operations for a new factory they wanted to build, right? So basically they decided to go for SAP together with S/4HANA, Digital Manufacturing, a number of solutions. And this had a big impact on their operations. So as you can see, and this is something I always say, I mean, it's not only on having more productivity, it's also the impact that you have because of the visibility that you get on your production that allows you to reduce inventory, both for your raw material or for the components you need for your manufacturing operations, but also the final inventory of your products, because you have a much better control over your capabilities and what is needed at every time, at every moment, right? And the other one that I wanted to bring is Jowat. This is in the process industry. It's a chemical industry, also in Germany. And same thing here is that they improved by 100% inventory accuracy. So in the past, they had to do it in paper-based. They were doing everything by hand. And, of course, they had to wait until the end of the shift, or maybe, to get the visibility of what was the actual inventory in the plants. And it was also very time consuming in terms of effort from the people. Okay. So this was my part, and I leave now the floor to Florin from Westernacher, who's going to be giving you a better review on the actual solution, digital manufacturing.
Thank you, Eduardo. Nice to see you here, and I hope in the next couple of minutes I can give you a better overview regarding SAP Digital Manufacturing and the way how, also Eduardo already introduced this topic, how SAP Digital Manufacturing help in overall supply chain with a better visibility and planning and execution. Let's move quickly to the next slide. So why we need an EMEA solution, and in special SAP Digital Manufacturing? Because looking to the end-to-end process, we need an integration part where we can close the loop between planning and execution, and also to be able to react quickly to different unexpected constraints that can appear during execution in special. Because yes, we plan, but obviously during execution, especially when we have a long running orders, or not only, we have to react quickly and being integrated end to end. This is the way how we can put together all of these tools and help us in a business process. Obviously, to be able to use AI tools and other tools that we have in the SAP ecosystem, in general, we need to follow the standard process. DM, you will see also in the next couple of slides, is perfectly fit in this process standardization and closely integrate different tools and make, from digital point of view, it enable them to work efficiently. Increasing of process efficiency, of course, it's a target for the manufacturing part. First of all, using DM, we will have a better visibility in terms of these KPIs, and based on this, we can act and take different decisions. Transparency, it's an important part, especially for that customers that are still running on a paper base, for example. It's a challenge. We see in one example a couple of minutes ago. It's a challenge to have a better visibility, for example, regarding the stock of raw material that we can have in the warehouse. And obviously, we want to improve this part. And DM, coming especially with direct integration with EWM, solve this part. For the execution part can be executed automatically, having a shop floor integration and machine integration where it's possible. We also have a situation when the production and we have to enable the operator in the shop floor to register different activities. And for this, user-friendly interface, mobile also possible, will help and enhance this process. So where we, in the traditional pyramid, an MES solution, all of us know it's on layer 3, and we know how that traditional part is going, means MES usual integrate ERP with the shop floor, bringing different information between these two layers. But actually, looking to this picture, we will see also a horizontal integration and vertical integration, that it's not only pure MES solution covering that operation activities happening in the shop floor. Basically, starting from left to right, looking to business plan and going through manufacturing and production planning, obviously, registering execution and coming to delivery. DM also integrate and close the loop between these parts, and also looking now to the business part, going to a factory, to a shop floor. Also, we see how different parts from DM, different functionalities, we can place in these different layers and cover different requirements. Obviously, the DM, it's a cloud-based solution, but as we can see, in order to enable the shop floor integration, we have also the edge component and on-prem also services like production connector that enable us to integrate data coming from shop floor to enterprise. So a brief overview regarding DM and his functionalities. Mainly, DM is covering the planning part, means not the planning part that is coming from S4, where we have multiple options, but that planning that usually happen in the shop floor, because in the shop floor we can have some constraints that we cannot consider before when we build, when we do this planning, production planning, and we have to act maybe being in a shift when we start, and we just realize that maybe we have a different capacity due to some unplanned downtime, for example, or maintenance that we have to execute and was not planned before. The execution part, of course, it's an MES solution. So all the activities around execution, collecting data, traceability, collecting activity time, and all of these are covered by DM. And in the end, it's the insight part, means KPI and reporting. We will see how DM, just using for execution, we already can benefit of some standard KPIs that are available in DM. And we can also build our own report, because DM Insight, it's not only predefined KPI reporting, but it's actually, let's say, an embedded analytic cloud where the data are collected. We have a contextualization of this data, and it's easy to build, to consume that data in our custom reports. So let's see in the next minutes. I will present you following a standard production process, starting from releasing of production or process orders, because DM cover both discrete and process industries. So starting from release of the order, going to DM to fine-tune the planning or to react to unplanned downtime, and to better organize and dispatch our production. Starting the execution, in the execution part, usual we have to take care about the material availability, to have a better overview about stock that are available, and in case that stock is not yet present in a production area, also to have a visibility about what happened with that activities and that task that need to be complete before we can start the execution of that orders. Execution himself, that can be done using production operated dashboards. Manually, can be we can capture the signals from a machine and we can execute automatically due to that low code, no code tool that we have embedded, and APIs, a lot of APIs available for this. And obviously covering both discrete and process industry, with a more focus on, in a discrete, we more focus on assembly, traceability, these kind of activities, serialization. In the process industry, batch, we care more about the batch process and the way how the material are moved. And we register the activity for different phase and operation. And in the end, we will have an overview regarding standard KPIs, and also a small demo regarding how we can easily build a custom report. So let's start with releasing. Releasing will happen obviously in the ERP part. And all the data that are necessary for execution will be transferred near real time, I would say, because of course there can be some seconds of delay due to transport in DM to be able to start execution. Couple of data. Let's jump directly to a video. So what we need basically for order execution, we need both master data and transactional data. They are a standard package that we have in the integration suite, where we can use and for standard processes, we have, I would say, out of the box integration between S4 and DM. Both transactional data and master data. Some of the master data obviously need to be transferred in advance to enable this process, but some of the master data also are coming together with production or process orders, and in that way it's easy, and we have a flexible way of consuming. After we have this order in the end, as you can see also in this video, immediately we can see the planning part. We have all the information regarding bill of material and operation in the routing that we have to perform. And also we have an option to enhance, to validate first of all, and to enhance this data with additional information in case we need for different processes. Here you see an example of routing and how these two simple operations are looking from this perspective, and also the bill of material for this production order, and a couple of materials that are planned to be consumed during the assembly part. All right, let's move now to the planning part. So as I mentioned, all the data, as long as we release, we make the production order available in DM. We can use different options and different configuration, like auto release means if we don't need scheduling and planning part and dispatching part in DM, obviously we can skip this part. But we see for a lot of customers this part it's become more and more important. And the reason is because in the shop floor, we can react quickly on the shift time horizon or a day time horizon to different challenges that may occur and was not planned. We don't have visibility in advance for this. Here you see a small demo. So the order it's already there in DM. We can have one or multiple orders. The planning part can be done on the operation level, as well can be done on the order level. And starting from this year, a couple of months ago, also we have an option for, especially for the serialized production, to plan on the serial number, means on the SFC number way. On this way, we can better distribute our production to different production lines, and on that way we can optimize the way how we produce that orders. As you can see, we have multiple options to execute this planning. This can be done also manually, means production planner can adjust this plan, but just simple by drag and drop. We can automatically release and find the right slot for that orders, or we can take a look to the entire backlog and automatically plan and dispatch the entire backlog. Now coming to execution. So far we plan how we want to execute. Now it's time to start our execution. First step is to ensure that we have materials available in a shop floor. This process can be different. Depend on the industry and depend on the specific needs that you may have. We simply need only the visibility regarding this part, or also DM. In the DM, it's possible different processes to be integrated with EWBM and to trigger the material staging directly from DM when we need that materials. This triggering can be, this staging request can happen on the order level, can be across orders for different materials. Also in DM, for a better traceability, we want to have a full visibility regarding the stock that we consume and we produce during execution. This is also another option that we can enable, so to have a full traceability for different materials. We have also a way to work in the consolidated mode, means if you don't want to see each single batch for a certain material, you can see consolidate quantity only for that material. And also we can use, in case it's not needed, a combination that detail we can use obviously only the reporting part for a quantity that we produce, and we can report that quantity and register in SAP only this information. Let's move now to the execution part. So in the execution, first of all, it's important on which type of process we are, because DM it's intended to cover both discrete and process industry. And for this, we have some functionalities that are common for both, and we have also a special functionality for different industry. In the next video, you will see an example of operator dashboard for discrete industry, where we can register the labor time. We can also register labor time can be registered against order, or can be register general activity time that is not related to one or the other orders. In this dashboard, also operators have a couple of options to register the activity, when it started, when it's completed, to get information regarding how to produce different parts, and also manually or automatically to collect data, process data related to that production. For an as-built report can be done, and we can benefit in the end, registering different components that are assembly, and collecting information regarding that components. In the end, because we use EM and for the entire process, also we benefit regarding this for a couple of KPIs and reporting. Means all the data are stored regarding the production, and we can see immediately this reporting. Now, in the first video, I will present you a standard report, a couple of standard reports that we have available. One of these, it's a monitoring part, where we can just take a look and we can see the progress of our activities. We can see also the backlog and the upcoming scheduled orders. If we go in the order report, there we can see different order statuses and progress as well, but we can go more in deeper and to see more details regarding all the data that we collect during the execution of that orders. Of course, being like in this example, a serialized material, we can go to each single material and to see the SFC report in the end, where we get more detail regarding that single part production. Another very useful KPI and report, it's the line monitor. If we want to have from the other angle, if we want to have a visibility regarding our productivity and from the work center point of view, as you can see here, we already have the OEE on the resource level, and we can see immediately our performance regarding our production. In the next slide, I will present you. So in case we want to extend this part of KPI and monitoring, so all the data that are collected, we have stored in the MDOs, model object data, where data is not only collected, but also is put in a context. We have a contextualization of this data. And as you can see, just consuming this data from these tables, basically we can build a simple query and enable a report that can be useful for us. Obviously, this data can be consumed directly here. Means I can build this custom report and just publish in DM and make it available for different personas. We have also a couple of APIs and a couple of other options to integrate this data with other analytic tools, where maybe we want to consolidate and to consume from multiple sources, not only from the DM for our report, this data, and that way we have the entire context for this. So thank you. This was my presentation for digital manufacturing part. Now I will hand over to Tom.
Yes, excellent. Thanks very much, Eduardo and Florin. Excellent presentations. If there are any further questions, please feel free to add them into the chat, and we can answer those. One question maybe directed to Florin in the first instance. We've talked quite a lot about the integration of digital manufacturing with ERP solutions. Just curious, are there any other sort of notable SAP supply chain solutions where there's beneficial integrations, maybe such as IBP with forecasting and planning, for example?
I would say obviously integration with the ERP. It's let's say the main integration, and I don't see any MES solution giving any benefit if you not consume and close the loop with the ERP. Integration with the shop floor for automatic execution and collecting data, it's also an important part. And now moving forward with this, basically on the DM we have in the DM being a service in the BTP area. We have a lot of APIs that enable us to build a solution, and architecture depend on a different scenario that we need on that area. PLM, it's of course for different for that type of industry, it's very important. And warehouse, I think I mentioned already, it's an important for the visibility for the stock, to avoid negative stock at all in our solution.
Excellent, thank you very much. And maybe a question for Eduardo. I don't think you can talk about technology these days without the topic of artificial intelligence coming up. So just keen to know, Eduardo, is any overview on sort of the capabilities with AI and maybe embedded analytics within SAP DM?
Well, in general terms, and that's the strength of what was mentioned before about the business data cloud. So in general terms, SAP is following a strategy to build this common data layer, foundation layer, with the data products and the data insights that we're building on top of that, right? So there are functionality already available and use cases already available around digital manufacturing, as the ones I was showing before. More than analytics and reporting with AI, I would say that what we are also bringing soon is agents that allows us to, to warn and to advise the user that something is due to happen, or is going to happen, or is happening already in the system before it actually happens, right? I mean, like for instance, if we see like the performance is going down and perhaps there's nothing yet broken, but we see the OEE is going down, we will bring an alert to the user, and the user will be able to interact with Joule, through Joule, to see first to drill down and investigate what's happening, and then to take action and corrective action. So basically solving the problem, yes, but in case it is not possible to solve it soon enough, then what are the alternatives that the user can take in order to mitigate the impact, right? So yes, there is a lot of working process there, and new use cases are coming in the roadmap in the next few months, even this year.
Perfect. Excellent. Well, I think that concludes the questions that we had today. So I just want to thank everybody once again for joining the webinar and joining us on learning more about digital manufacturing with SAP. We will reach out to everybody in case there's any appetite for sort of one-to-one conversations to talk more specifically about your own industry challenges and business challenges. So we would be very open to having those discussions and diving a little bit deeper into how the solution can specifically benefit yourself. So with that, I would just like to thank everybody once again, and hope everybody has a good rest of the week. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.